Hello and welcome to the class experiment where I consistently forget to start recording. Yes, welcome to the class experiment. And have a couple stories to share with you today. I feel like I'm getting some echoes. What is going on here? Did somebody mess with my mic? I would not be surprised. So, to get started, Trump's been indicted. I don't care. It's it is what it is. I really don't have anything to say about it because there really is no substance there other than, ooh, you pulled him into court and charged him with alleged crimes that are misdemeanors that are well past the statute of limitations, so you upgraded them to a felony somehow. I don't know how that it doesn't work. It doesn't freaking work at all. And yeah, this is your banana republic. This is what people allegedly voted for, and I've noticed lately that all the things that the Dems and the people on the left have been screaming about for the past, oh God, how many years now? 7? Has it been 7 years they've been screaming about this stuff? Um, yeah, for 7 years they've been screaming it's a banana republic, Orange Man bad, and they continue to do the things that they claimed Orange Man was doing. Is that accurate? That's I think that's pretty accurate. They're doing the exact same things they point the finger at other people doing. I don't know. So, anyways, moving on because that's just a dead in the water story in my eyes. I really couldn't care. I'm not going to be watching CNN to get the latest updates on what's been going on with Orange Man. I really hope their ratings don't go up. But on to real news. Yeah, Finland joins NATO officially. Officially, this has gone through. This was one of Putin's other red lines. Don't cross the red line. You can't have Finland. We will do stuff. So now, basically, the border between NATO and Russia has been doubled. So that's exciting. And well, let's see what they have to say about this. This is from CNN. So yeah, Finland joins NATO, doubling military alliance's border with Russia in a blow for Putin. Uh, Not really. Like, didn't you just give him more to attack? In reality, like he hasn't even mobilized his actual forces yet. You have the Wagner group who's doing a lot of the fighting. You have some conscripts that they're just like, here's a rifle, go have some fun. They haven't even mobilized their good stuff yet. So good luck with that, NATO. Finland officially became the 31st member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Keep in mind, it wasn't supposed to expand after the wall fell. On Tuesday, making a major shift in the security landscape of northeastern Europe that adds some 1,300 kilometers to the alliance's frontier with Russia. Okay. The Nordic nations' ascension was sealed during a formal ceremony at the NATO headquarters in Brussels. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg were on hand, and the minister, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they're waving their peepees around, everybody's shaking hands, copping a feel here and there, really congratulating each other. Yeah. I don't know if they realize what the hell they just did here, other than just making more targets for an aggressive country to shoot at. So good job with that. Finland, yeah, I hope you're ready. Now, before I get to the big story, and to me, it is a big story. I'm going to cover the Dem reps who egged on rioters at the Tennessee Capitol are stripped of committee assignments. So finally, the Dems are starting to receive some of the treatment that they've given other people over the years. Funny how that works out. I wonder if any other former presidents are going to be indicted after this. Or are we just going to have another pandemic next year so that voting is YouTube? I don't know how else to say this. Questionable? Yeah. I could actually see something like that happening. Maybe we won't even have one pandemic. Maybe perhaps they'll be like, hey, Marburg is out of Africa. We must panic. Oh no, bird flu. And then we're just jab after jab after jab, which I would just refuse all of those as well. But yeah, let's get to this story. 3 Democrat representatives who encouraged student rioters at the Tennessee State Capitol last week have reportedly been stripped of their committee assignments and are facing a vote Thursday on articles of expulsion. Yes, no more insider trading for these people. That's the whole point of these committees, is to find out what stocks to buy because you're going to approve contracts. That's yeah, Nancy Pelosi. Tennessee state troopers were forced to intervene as a pro-gun control mob stormed the state capitol during a session of legislature on March 30th. Representatives Justin Jones, sounds like a Marvel character, Justin Pearson, don't trust politicians named Justin. I mean, this is 2 for 2 here, and Gloria Johnson all reportedly joined the rioters as well of the in the well of the chamber, where they shouted slogans through a shared blowhorn. Yeah, they definitely deserve to lose their jobs. Like, they're doing the exact same thing that all of the J6 people have been locked up for over 2 years now. Over 2 years, some of these people, and not charged yet, haven't gone before a judge because they love democracy. We took to the House floor demanding justice. This is Justin Pearson. Yeah. To end the support of the NRA. So don't get a membership to the, if you don't support the NRA, don't get a membership. It's pretty simple. End the support of gun violence and end support of these guns. My guns need my support. Thank you very much. Perhaps they're insecure. Let's see here. Tennessee GOP continue to support gun violence. No, that's a false statement there. To the detriment of children, parents, and families. That is a false statement. And I think Twitter should probably, I don't know, he could say it's his opinion, but he's making a statement here as a political official that the Tennessee GOP, the Republican Party there, continued to support gun violence. I highly doubt anybody's like, I am pro gun violence. We must never quit. No, you definitely should quit. Go do something else. Let's see here. Watch what we did was not radical. Inaction is radical. Are they trying to make a good defense for J6 people? Like, they took action, therefore they're not radical, right? Or does this only apply to the left? I'm assuming this only applies to the left, like any other policy that they have. Okay, all 3 reportedly received a letter Monday from Tammy Lutzer, a chief clerk in the Tennessee House, informing them that they have been kicked off their committees. Good job. Be proactive, because inaction is radical. Dear Representative Johnson, you have been removed from the House standing committees and subcommittees and any committees on which you serve as designee. Please let me know if you have any questions. You've been fired. Have any questions, send them to this fake email address. That's what I would do. In addition, House Republicans will vote Thursday on House Resolution 64 to expel the 3 Democrats. Representative Johnson posted a screenshot of the first page of the articles of expulsion on Twitter. Well, good for you. The resolution filed by Republican, blah, 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 declares that the three participants in disorderly behavior did knowingly and intentionally bring disorder and dishonor to the House Representatives. Yeah, yep. If they want to be activist protesters, they could just become unemployed like every other activist protester. Because that's usually who's doing all this stuff, because they have a lot of free times on their hands. So anyways, that happened, and thankfully these people are finally getting some of the treatment that others have gotten for the last 7 years. As I repeat myself, 7 years of this bullshit, and finally it's coming back around. Now, the last thing that I want to get to today, there's been a couple videos by, I usually refer to her as Squirrel Girl, but her actual YouTube channel is called Squirrel Tribe. She has been covering the East Palestine train derailment since the beginning. She's been covering this, and she's been doing a deep dive into who owns the train company, why would the governor take this action, recently what programs are available for areas that are inhabitable due to contamination, what kind of grant money is available, how can people profit from stuff like this. She did a nice breakdown yesterday, and I posted it on thecollapseexperiment.com, where she's putting the pieces together, and it's one of those beautiful moments where you suddenly realize they're being red-pilled. And I don't know if she realizes it yet. I think she has an idea that it's happening, because the more she learns, the more her brain goes. And she's just she's also been getting a lot of threats too. That's the unfortunate side of stuff like this, where you are over target and you start getting the phone calls and the emails and the comments on your videos, or YouTube takes your videos down, Twitter freezes your account, all of those type of things, right? You start saying the stuff you're not supposed to be saying, even though they can't prove that it's not true. So yeah, she is finally getting, it's almost like pushing a rock off of a mountain. It's building up momentum. It's happening. All right. And so yesterday she was acknowledging the fact that the governor of Ohio has a lot to gain from East Palestine. There's programs that have been enacted by President Biden, and this is through the Inflation Reduction Act, which does nothing but increase inflation because he's spending more money, which was the initial problem to begin with. If they wanted to sign an act, it could be the "we're not going to spend any more money" act, and just enact that. That would help inflation. But no, these people don't learn. So part of that act is grants and certain amounts of money that are set aside for green energy projects, especially in areas that have seen better days due to coal mining, water contamination, areas that you technically can no longer live in due to these things. They are going to use that land for solar, wind, probably not hydro. I don't know. I don't know if hydro is actually included in that, but I do remember solar and wind. So keep in mind, as she points out, it was not the railroad company who set the stuff on fire, and it was not the local government that decided to do this. It was the governor who came in and said, "We're going to set this stuff on fire." And lo and behold, what happened to East Palestine? So yeah, she's connecting the dots. And one thing I tried to point out in her comment section was, if you want to know, because she seems to think this is all like a new thing, and it's not. This goes way back. This goes back to the earliest I'm willing to go is Agenda 21, because that's officially on paper. It's a UN program. Anybody can buy a copy of this from Amazon. They can download it for free from the UN website. Anybody can check out this program, and there's this nice map of the United States. Now, they didn't make a map for the rest of the world. They made one for the United States as to the land that was going to be deemed free of humans, if you will. They want everybody to be condensed into these cities, these smart cities, these 15-minute neighborhoods that they're trying to create, and they're actually enacting that over in Europe. You can find out more about that. Yes, there are actual cities that have been divided up into neighborhoods where you're supposed to live within 15 minutes of everything that you need, and you have to ask permission to leave the neighborhood to go somewhere else. So perhaps the deli in your 15-minute area really sucks, and you want to go to the other good one that's 20 minutes from your home. You have to ask permission from a guard to pass the gate. We've had other societies that live this way. It was not good. I will not be condensed. Yeah, exactly. Over a pipe. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. So yeah, Squirrel Tribe is putting all of this together. And I think if she really wants to figure out what the hell's going on right now, Agenda 21 is a pretty good place to start, because that's kind of the foundation as to what is happening right now. And as of right now, we also have Program 2030, Agenda 2030 through the UN, which we're seeing a lot of that happening now. We're seeing it with the lockdowns. We're seeing it with the digital currency that they want to roll out. We're seeing it with the loss of the right to property, the right to your bodily autonomy is going away. We're seeing this with the train derailments and the accidents that are happening all over the United States, which are making your homes uninhabitable, forcing you to move. And where are you going to move to? Seriously, where are you going to move to? Because they're not paying you enough to stay in the rural area. Oh, no. They're forcing you to move to the cities. So that's Agenda 2030. There's also Agenda 2050, which is even worse. Yeah, because that's where, like, by 2050, we're going to be completely off of oil. Yeah, and that means that probably 80 to 90% of the world's population is going to be gone along with it, because without oil is a very, very long. Without oil, you don't have artificial fertilizer. You don't have the tractors to spray pesticides, to spray fertilizer, to harvest the crops, to the plastics to wrap your crops up in for transportation. You don't have the diesel fuel to transport the crops to the market. It goes on and on. All that stuff that you see at the supermarket, you can thank oil for. And they're saying we're going to get off oil. Have you seen any type of program where they're trying to figure out how to, make plastic from sunlight, from wind? It generates electricity. That's it. You don't have a physical thing that you're playing with as you do with oil. So all of this is coming to a head. And in the end, what you get is depopulation. So, yeah, Squirrel Tribe. You're definitely going down the right path. I'm sorry that she's getting the flack that she is. Strange phone calls and whatnot. Definitely she experienced some threats to herself and her family. I've wondered, should we make a Gadsden flag with a baby stroller instead of a snake on it? I think it was Colorado that was saying just don't tell your parents about anything at school. Yeah, school. I'm pretty sure I wanna say, and I think most parents feel this way, I feel like the schools in my area are actually pretty good from what I'm seeing. Um, I haven't seen any questionable stuff. It's also very, conservative in the area that I live, right? One thing I was worried about, and one reason I moved out here is because in the city that I was living in, I would have to worry about my kids coming home saying that they're a boy wearing purple hair and trying to use a litter box, stuff like that. I would have to worry about that in the prior place that I lived. Here, I don't think I have to worry about that. Although I've heard some stories about Cadillac, and they're not going to Cadillac. They're definitely not going to that high school. So, not worried about it. Yeah, and yeah, the whole "don't tell your parents" thing, red flag. That is a huge red flag. Anytime the staff, I mean, isn't that what child abusers usually tell the kids after the abuse has happened? Like, "Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody or I'll get you." Yeah, that's huge red flag. That's that's when you're just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna homeschool." Uh-huh. So, anyways, that is what's going on with Squirrel Tribe. And let's see, given the industry I work in, check your school's policy, procedures, and handbooks. You will know quickly the school's stance. Also, attend school board meetings. My wife does that. It will surprise you what you find out. Yes. Okay. So my wife is very I'll just she's very liberal, right? Not the she thinks she's a man type liberal. She's just I would say old school Democrat, like the Clinton years Democrat, you know. And she sometimes comes home a little upset, which tells me that the school's probably on the right path. Traditional liberal, yes, that kind, when they were still trying to hide the bodies. Back when offing your political opponents was like a favorite pastime and not like an actual public event. That type of traditional liberal. So yeah. Anyways, there was one more cool thing that I discovered, and I wanted to share that with you guys before I head out on this. Oh crap, where did it go? No. Okay. So I can look this up again. Yes, there is a link on Reddit, and I will post it in the comment section on this video. And it is where you can find for free The Lone Gunman, The X Files, and Millennium, all for free. So I'm going to definitely share that link. And after all, that's one of the reasons why I used the photo that I did today. That's starting to kick off with one of the schools around here. So many parents showed up to the last meeting that they shut it down. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's weird. I don't understand the people who decide that they're going to become teachers and then they don't really want to teach. Like seriously. And this has been a problem for a while. And I'm not talking about the green-haired dress wearing men that are like teaching in schools now. I'm talking about you graduate from high school. How many people listening to this right now knew how to balance a checkbook when you got out of high school or understood that I don't know, getting an $80,000 loan on a profession that pays like 30,000 a year starting out was probably a bad investment. Um, how many people understood interest rates when they got a loan? How many people all the things that were actually important in your life when you were put out into society on your own and had to survive on your own. How many people actually had those skills or understood anything? And you spend your 20s making mistake after mistake after mistake. You're in your 30s and you're like, how the hell did I get here? Why wasn't I taught any of this garbage by anyone? Didn't learn anything about finance at all. Yes, timber drifter, exactly. That's what I'm getting at here. Is everything that is important in your life, and I feel like they do it on purpose to make sure that you stay an indentured servant. You continue to make certain mistakes, which means you have to work more hours, be willing to put up with more garbage at your workplace in order to try to pay off those mistakes that you made, the same mistakes that other people told you were great ideas. Yeah, those people, those are the ones that you learn very quickly. Do not listen to. So yeah, um, for the young people out there who are listening, if you have a friend, and this was one of my experiences in life, had a friend who was still living at home with mom. Okay, he's pushing 20 something, uh, early 20s. I'll put it that way. Still living at home with mom. That's a red flag too. Doesn't help with the financial situation at home while not going to school. That's another red flag. 3, spends all of his paycheck, his entire paycheck, working as a cook on a stripper who doesn't. There's no sex in a champagne room, none. So yeah, and this is the guy who thought that he was really smart and was trying to give me financial advice when I was in my early 20s. And I would ask him certain questions, like, you do realize she doesn't care about you, dude. You're paying her car and her rent. It's about the idea. It's a fantasy, man. Just let me have it. And I'm like, you're killing whatever future fantasy you want to have with actual people. That's the issue. Okay. I was really enjoying that book until the rug pulled at the end. What book was that? I'm not sure what book he's referring to. Did I mention a book? Was it the Agenda 21 book? Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, anyways, there definitely is an issue with schools lately. Do I think it's part of a conspiracy? Hells yes. Yeah. They definitely don't want your kids procreating. They they want to lower the population. Read the message before that one. Okay, I'm looking. Unless it just didn't pop up. I'm not seeing another message from over a pipe. It did not pop up. So I don't know if you want to try sending it again. Ha ha ha. Didn't even pop up. Great. Oh, what book is this? What book is it that they don't want us to know about? What is YouTube trying to prevent people knowing? Okay. Come on over, pipe. Tell me, is it just not going through? Well, you've got my number. You can always send it to me. So 1984. Yes. The ending. Oh my God. Which ending are you referring to? Are you referring to the horrible thing that happened to the protagonist, or are you talking about the weird history of word usage that was added at the end, which honestly, like a page or two in, I was like, I don't live in this world. Now I need to go back and actually read that because I'm living in that world. And it kind of makes me upset. So yeah, I should probably go back and read that final section to see what they're talking about. The wordplay game, how words consistently have new definitions and you don't know what the current definition is, and that's how they use language against you. Because we're not seeing that at all in society these days. But yeah, 1984. And in reality, I don't know. When I was reading that, it was kind of dry. I didn't really enjoy. I think Animal Farm was probably a better product. It definitely appealed more to a larger audience, and actually had a harder time trying to get Animal Farm published than 1984 because all the publishing companies were like, "Is this a children's book?" And he's like, "No, you want to do an adult book that's very short about animals on a farm?" And he said, "Yes." But I think it worked wonderfully. I think the saddest part was when the main character and his lover meet again and talk about how they wish the other's demise. Just ruined such a wonderful thing. But isn't that just real life? And that it was just a lie to entrap them into the system. Yep. Yeah, exactly. No, that's I think you just summarized like my 20s. There's a good audio version of 1984 on here. It is a better listen than a read. I'm gonna have to give that a shot. I could actually see that being very true. And another good book that definitely better audiobook than published book was Pygmy by Chuck Palahniuk. And which is hilarious because it has to do with a communist uh, invasion through adoption agencies. These children are secret agents growing up in the United States, and they're all indoctrinated communists. But it reads like a government report. So as you're reading it, you're going to see blanked out words, just actual black bars covering certain things. And when you're listening to the audiobook, it will actually say, like, redacted said to redacted that they had to redacted in order to blah, 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 blah. It reads pretty good. I hated how he was just waiting for the bang in the back of his head and that he loves his brother. It was just sad. Yes. Well, that's kind of the world that we are heading towards and or living in right now. Working on a brave new world right now. That one's an odd one. That one I also read as well. And yeah, that one, I don't know. I feel like both of these books are kind of overrated, except for the fact that they were pretty unique for their time. So it definitely helped create a genre of better books to come along on these subjects. And we're definitely living in some type of weird amalgam of these two, along with a few other books, kind of weave together in our society right now, such as with A Brave New World. There's definitely a push for genetic superiority in that society. And currently, I don't know if you heard the story or not, but I think it was yesterday I covered it. The Chinese are working on creating a human variation, if you will, where they take tardigrade DNA, which is resistant to radiation, and they put it in human embryos. That was a thunderstorm that's starting to roll through. You might have heard that. It's pretty uncanny. The similarities just strange. No, I didn't hear this. Good Lord. Yes. This is actually happening to where they were able to integrate this DNA into human embryos, and the embryos took. And of course, they're saying they haven't actually produced any people from this process. They just wanted to see if it would work. Yeah. Kind of like certain labs over in Eastern countries, not doing things that they said, or they said they weren't doing them. Turned out otherwise. So yeah, this stuff is happening. 1984, we now have the TikTok ban, that whole bill that is coming out, and that bill is basically doing all the stuff that they're claiming TikTok is doing, which again, why does the left do this? They keep pointing the finger at other people saying, stop doing that, stop doing that. And then they're doing the exact same thing that they're pointing at somebody else of doing. That happens quite a bit. I don't like it. Makes me like these people even less. So yeah, don't create a bill where you're saying you're going to ban TikTok and then do all the things you claim TikTok is doing. It doesn't get me on your side. It actually pisses me off. So that's happening. Other than that, I don't know. I thought what was odd is their mantra: whoever controls the past controls the present, controls the future. 2 plus 2 equals 5. That almost blew my mind. Yeah, 2020 was freaking crazy. That's when we figured out who these people are. And when they started teaching 2 plus 2 equals 5 in school, they seriously were teaching this garbage in school, and they wonder why these people can't function in society. Yeah, good luck using that math on, I don't know, the space program. Like, could you imagine Apollo 13? They have to try to slingshot you around the moon to get you back, and you have some asshole who went to a school where they're teaching 2 plus 2 equals 5, and he's coming up with the algorithm to slingshot you and try to save you. You're going to trust that guy? No, you're not. So then Orwell wrote that in the book that Big Brother requires you to say 2 plus 2 equals 5. Yeah, exactly. That was pretty fitting. And there was a lot of people that pointed that out too. And this was a serious news story. Anybody who forgot this, you can go look it up. The whole 2 plus 2 equals 5. And they're like, well, if it was, like 2.3 plus 2.3, which is really still just 2. But if you put them together, it's closer to 5. So you're really making 5. And I'm like, that's not, no, that would be 4.6, you dumbass. No rounding up. Then they changed definitions in 1985. I didn't understand what everyone said by Orwellian, but it is a bit creepy. Yes, of course, because 1984 turned into a textbook on like how to do this garbage. So that is what we are dealing with. And anyways, I think I'm going to cut this feed just because there's a thunderstorm raging outside, and I don't know. I usually disconnect my computer when stuff like that is going on, just in case there's a power surge or something, and might possibly lose this feed as it is. So, anyways, thanks everyone for coming along. I'd like to welcome Squirrel Tribe to the Red Pill conspiracy theory mind-opening event in her life, and she's not alone. So go check out her channel. She's got a lot of great information on there that they don't want you to know about. So check that one out. She connects all the dots, has all the articles in the papers, and shows you what she can. And it's kind of knew this was what was happening, but at least she's the one going through and like documenting everything and laying out the proof to the point where they've actually been coming after her. So anyways, hope everyone is doing well and keep on typing.